Today we are going to talk about listening skills actively. Before we start, I want to know who's ready to participate in this course. I mean, in this session, like to read fluently. Who think he's to? Later on, we are going to ask about what she read. Did you get my question? Who think that she or he can take the mic and read fluently? Okay, I'm asking, inshallah, I will meet volunteers today to read. And inshallah, we are going to ask about what she or he read. So, if you think that you... Okay. So if you think that you are fluent and you can read fluently, so I'm going to hand you in the mic, and then I got this. I can hear you. I can't hear you. Okay, Mr. Majid. I got disconnected. So, inshallah, if we finish the lesson comprehension, listening to a comprehension today, we will be done with our Toefl course, and next time will be just the last lecture. So let's start with our lecture today. Listening to comprehension. Okay. How well you can understand what you hear. This is all about listening. This tests your ability to understand what you hear. Do you understand? Can you react to this text or to this comprehension or not? So this section prepares you for listening comprehension section for the Toefl exam. You will learn exactly what to expect from the exam. You will learn active listening strategies. Inshallah, we are going to go through listening strategies, and I will tell you what exactly to do in order to focus or to get the benefit, to have the more benefit from practice for listening. Okay, and how you can use them during the exam. Finally, you will find tips for each kind of listening comprehension question to helpful practice exercises. Okay, so the point is we are going to go through strategies and kinds of listening comprehension. What are the expected questions that you are about to ask in order to answer in your in the exam. So, kinds of listening comprehension questions on the exam. Before we start, my advice to you: concentrate on listening. Don't try to take notes. I mean, okay, it's okay to take notes, but don't write down everything, because you will not be able to write down every single detail and to listen in the same place. You know, sometimes we listen to a movie, or you listen to a talk of your friend, and you remember every single detail. But if you do something else, maybe you will miss some details. Okay, so listening actively, this is the point. This is how what we should master actually. Okay, so do you understand the difference between those two things? To listen and to hear. Do you Okay, seems like nobody there. Okay, let's go through okay, thank you very much. Kinds of listening comprehension question on the Toefl exam. You will be asked several different kinds of questions about passage you hear. Okay, I'm back. I had just I got disconnected. Anyway, so I was saying that the main topic of the conversation. These questions ask you to identify the main subject or the main topic of any conversation you listen. Okay, so who or what the conversation is about. Here's an example. So you have to focus while listening or comprehend subject. Don't pick up a detail and talk about it as if it's the main topic. Main subjects or main topics, usually they are general. You don't pick just a small single fact or detail from the comprehension. Like here in this practice, Ms. Shireen, are you ready to read? Ms. Shireen, if you are there, okay. I'll give you the mic. Just 1 minute. Okay, you have the mic. Ms. Shireen, would you please pick up the mic?
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, I begin. Okay, but please no one laugh if I'll make any problem or any mistakes. Woman 1, what are the hours for the computer lab? There is no sign on the door. Woman 2, it's open Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and weekends 9 to 6. Question, what are the women talking about? The location of the computer lab, when the computer lab is open, the best time to use the computer lab, weekend computer lab hours. The answer will be B, when the computer lab is open. Okay?
Thank you very much, Ms. Shireen. Jazakumullah khairan. Perfect, actually. Perfect, actually. Just 1 I need to meet your thank you very much. Okay. So, here the main topic or the main subject is okay, when the location of the computer lab or the best time did they use the computer lab or the weekend, the computer lab hours. Okay, so make sure your answer in the main topic or the it should be general subject or issue being discussed. Keep in mind the difference between the main topic and the main idea. Remember, the main topic should be somehow or somewhat general. Don't choose an answer that refers to a specific fact or detail from the passage, such as D. They mentioned the weekend in the weekends, okay, the weekend working hours, okay, but we are not talking about this, and they didn't ask about this detail or fact, okay. So we have to be to look for the general idea and to be very careful for our for answering such question. Okay, another kind of question which will ask you about the main idea, and this question appears in a longer conversation or class discussion and lectures. You may be asked to identify the main idea of the passage, what the speaker is saying about the subject. Here's an example of the main idea question based on the short lecture. So would you please, I need another volunteer, so who can read? But I need someone who thinks he or she is fluent. I mean, he can read rapidly. So I need a volunteer, Mr. Mahmoud. Okay. Just 1 minute. I need to find you first to give you the mic. Okay.
Okay, Professor, next week we will begin our decisions of Mary Shelley as Frankenstein. Frankenstein is actually considered by most literary critics to be the first to be the first science fiction novel. Understanding what makes this novel a work science fiction can help you understand why it still has so much power. Science fiction isn't just about space exploration, clones and robots. Yes, clones and robots still has so much power. Science fiction isn't just about space explosions, clones and robots. I'm sorry, I repeated this the last one. I'm sorry. Science fiction is any fiction about the realm of possibilities, not just possible future, but also possible pasts. For example, there is a sub-genre of science fiction called alternate histories. In these stories, the authors explore what our world would be like if history had turned out differently, if the Axis powers had won world war. For example, in Frankenstein, Shelley explores the social and moral repercussions of what might happen if it were possible to bring the dead back to life. She creates a character who discovers the secret of life and gives birth to a man made from the corpse of dead men. Then she imagines what might happen afterward. You may be surprised by how little science there is in this science fiction novel. But like the best of science fiction writers, Shelley focused on the human element by exploring what 13 science technological advances would mean for our society. In Frankenstein, the message is clear. Dr. Frankenstein delight turns to horror the moment he brings his creature to life, because he is unable to accept responsibility for his creation. If we seek glory without considering our responsibilities, Shelley argues we are headed for disaster. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmoud. Okay. Anyone else? Do I have any other volunteers? Or shall I read it? Guest 26, you have to change your name. You have to change your name. Mr. Mahmoud, are you ready? Do you think you are fluent? Mr. Mahmoud Muhammad, do you think you are fluent? You can read it in a high speed with the actual pronunciation? Okay. Here we go. Here's a mic.
No? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, we'll try to read inshallah. In our discussion of Mary Shelley Frankenstein, Frankenstein is actually considered by most literary critics to the first science fiction novel. Understanding what makes this novel a work of science fiction can help you understand
Mr. Mahmoud,
why it still has so much power.
would you please to correct something that in English we don't say Frankenstein, we say Frankenstein. Okay, so in German also, but in English we say Frankenstein. Okay, جزاكم الله خير. Frankenstein. Okay, جزاكم الله خير.
Okay, Frankenstein is right now. Frankenstein. Okay. Frankenstein
Okay, excellent.
is actually
Thank you.
considered by most.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Frankenstein is actually considered by the most literary critical science fiction novel. This is science fiction. Can help why it still has so much power. Science fiction isn't just about space exploration, clones and robots. Science fiction is any fiction about the realm of possibilities, not just possible futures, but also possible pasts. For example, there is a subgenre of science fiction called alternate histories. Okay, complete or stop? Okay. But also possible paths. For example, there is a sub-genre of science fiction called alternate histories. In these stories, authors explore what our world would be like if history had turned out differently, if the Axis powers had won World War II, for example, for a lot of mistakes.
Very much, Mr. Mahmoud, for your cooperation. Excellent reading. MashaAllah, very nice. But so let me read it quickly. So the professor here, it's actually his students. So he said, like, next week we'll begin to our discussion of Mary Shelley Frankenstein. Frankenstein is actually considered to be the most literary critics to be Frankenstein is actually considered by the most literary critics to be the first science fictional novel. Understanding what makes this novel a work of science fiction can help you understand why it still has so much power. Science fiction isn't just about space exploration of clones and robots. Science fiction is any fiction about the realm of possibilities, not just possible futures, but also possible pasts. For example, there is a subgenre of science fiction called alternate histories. In these stories, authors explore what our world would be likely if the history had turned out differently, if the Axis power had won the Second World War, for example. In Frankenstein, Shelley explores the social and the moral repercussions of what must happen if it were possible to bring the dead back to life. She creates a character who discovers the secret of life and gives birth to a man made of corpse of a dead man. Then she imagines what might happen afterwards. You might be surprised by how little science there is in the science fiction novel, but like the best of science fiction writers, Shelley focuses on the human element by exploring what certain scientific and technological advances would mean for our society. In Frankenstein, the message is clear. Dr. Frankenstein's delight turns into horror the moment he brings his creature to life, because he is unable to accept responsibility for his creation. If we seek glory without Shelley argues we are headed for disaster. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud Ikram. This is my first lecture here, and I can't hear better than talking. No, it's okay. It's typical. But the point is that, inshallah, you are going to listen like you are going to listen to a Native American speaker. So this such passages, you are not going to see the passage itself or the comprehension itself. You are going to listen to it. Okay. So in this lecture, here are the questions. What are the speaker's main points? Is it that Frankenstein is a science fiction novel, or the alternate history are kind of a science fiction, or Frankenstein is about a possible sequence of a scientific discovery, or Dr. Frankenstein ran away from the responsibilities? Which one here is the correct answer? In your opinion, I'm asking about the main point of this lecture. We heard it almost about 3 times now, and would you please tell me where is the main point, or what is the main point? A? Do you think so? I don't think it's A. No, the main point, be careful, where is the main point? We talked about many aspects here. We took Frankenstein novel, Dr. Frankenstein's novel, as an example, not as a main, that's not our main topic. Alternate histories are kind of science fiction, do you think so? Well, the right answer is C, as Mr. Sarah and Miss Sarah and Miss Towson and guest 52 said. It's C. You have to remember that the main idea is different from the main topic. The main idea says something about their subject. They must be general enough to cover the information, passage, or comprehension. Thus, choices that are about specific fact or detail, such as B, cannot be correct answer. This is a one detail. It's mentioned in the passages. That's true, and I admit it. But it's mentioned as a detail, not as a main idea. Okay. Another kind of question is asking about a detail. Okay, so whenever we are listening to a comprehension, we have to take like small, like to take notes, but very lightly. I mean, like to take just the important notes. If there is not, for me, I want to remember any number mentioned in the passage, so I have to write down these numbers. Maybe I won't write this, but would write the numbers because I won't remember the numbers after the passage is over. Okay, so you have to take notes, but only the very, very important notes. Okay, in order not to distract yourself while listening. So as for the details, these questions ask you to identify specific fact or detail mentioned in the lecture or the conversation. You will only be expected to remember inputs from a longer passages, because the short conversation are so short. However, you may be asked about any detail from the passage. Here are 2 examples. The first is based on the lecture above, and the second refers to the short conversation about the computer lab. Dr. Frankenstein discovers the secret of life, an alternate history, or moral responsibility, or a living corpse. Which answer here is the correct answer, or the correct detail that the tester is asking about? C, moral responsibility. Do you think so? Do any of you have another answer, another opinion? Miss Ragd, She says B, an alternate history. Okay. Well, I don't agree on B or C. I don't think it's the right answer. Okay, do you remember the first rule of answering a multiple choice question? Mr. Muhammad, I need only one answer. You got to pick only one answer. Okay, only one. Please listen. First, you're going to eliminate all the wrong answers. Okay? Eliminate means to remove, to skip all the wrong answers, and then you are going to consider the rest of them. Okay, of course he didn't discover a moral responsibility or an alternate history or a living corpse. Did he discover a living corpse? No, he created it. He made it. He didn't discover it. He discovered the secret of life, as Mr. Mahmoud said. And who else said? Only Mr. Mahmoud said it will be A. Okay, it is life. If you were listening carefully to the lecture, you would. A corpse mean a dead body. Okay? So, if you were listening carefully about to the lecture, you would know that he discovered the secret of life, and then he managed to collect many a corpse from many dead bodies or many dead men, and then he brings this thing to life. And of course there's like violation for our beliefs as a Muslims. I mean, like, it's not acceptable at all. This novel is not acceptable, but you may find something like this, so you have to know. Okay, for the computer lab hours on Wednesday. So this is another question about the many conversation of the two women who were talking about the computer lab. So who can give me an answer for the second question? What are the computer lab hours for Wednesday? Who can remember? See, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do you agree? All of you, do you think C is the right answer? So mentioned YA. No, it's not A. It was C, because during the whole week it's open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. except in the weekend it's from 10 to 6 or something like this. Okay. So Wednesday is actually, it's a day in the middle of the week. It's not in the very beginning of it, or I mean, like, I'm sorry, it's not in the weekend. So a tip here will help you to determine your detail, or to focus more on details. While reading comprehension section, you have the opportunity to use keywords from the question to find specific fact or detail in the passage, because you only hear the question after you have read the passage. You won't have the same opportunity in the listening section. In the reading section, you read the passage and you read the questions, and the opportunity to understand is bigger and much more better. But for listening, instead, you have to rely on listening carefully and thinking logically about the possible answers, and at least one should be obviously incorrect and easy to eliminate. Okay, so reading is different from listening. When you read, it's clear, the information are clear in front of you. You can go back, you can jump back to check out or something. But for listening, it's different. You rely means you depend on. Okay, only the very important details. For me, I would write the numbers. If someone can rely on their memory, it's okay. You can rely on your memory. Okay, so but don't distract yourself. Like I know some people, you know, they used to write every single word, and they cannot write every single word, and they distract themselves and they lose marks. Okay, so don't distract yourself. Write only the things that you will remember later. Okay, so it's different from one person to another. So rely means to depend on listening carefully. You have to listen carefully. This is what you should do. Okay, and thinking logically, because sometimes you have to make assumptions or get conclusions, and this is we are going to discuss this later. So we have to think logically about the conversation. Is my voice loud? Am I shouting? You can just speak quiet in my voice. Sometimes I think. Okay, great. That's great. Okay. The fourth kind of question is the idiomatic expression. The idiomatic expression. From the head here, you can see that it came out of the word idiom. Okay. These questions ask you to identify what the speaker means by the use of idiomatic expressions. Here's an example. Jackson said, Professor Mellon canceled the midterm exam. Get out. Okay. So, the point here, just 1 minute, I need to hide something because maybe some people will read the answer. Okay. So, what does the man mean? He wants the woman to leave, or they should go out of the room. He believes that the woman is lying. He is surprised by what the woman said. Which answer here is a perfect answer for this question, according to this conversation? B, they should go out of the room. Okay, Mr. Islam, I don't think so. Ms. Dalia D, Mr. Ali, sorry. Mr. Majid B, A, D, A, he wants the woman to leave. He's asking her to go out. He's kicking her out. No, this is not logic. I mean, like, if you have a friend and she told you, like, you have exam next, did you know that Professor Muhammad made the midterm exam tomorrow? What will you do? C is more accurate. Okay. C. Will you ask your friend to leave? Like, go away, don't want to be a friend with you anymore? It's not logic. Okay, so the point is, number D is, yeah, D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer to say, he is surprised by what the woman say. Okay, or how what? Like sometimes it's an expression. He doesn't mean that he wants the other person to go out or to leave. No, they say, stop kidding, you know. Okay, that's not because he thinks that the woman is trying to lie. It's expression when you say, like, but don't use it unless you are very, very close to your to this person, you know, because it's informal. So you can't use it in casual conversation unless you are very close to this person. Cause of the sign. Oh no, you're not going to see the sign in the exam, Sarah. You're not going to see the text in the exam. You have to listen. Shut up is unpolite word, actually. They use it like, you know, a slang, but it's not good. Okay, so there are many expressions. I know it's in between friends, but it's a very, very hard word. I mean, like, polite people don't say it, you know, like you know, like here in Egypt, some some boys and girls, you know, or teenagers, they use some words which actually, if you are a bit raised, you won't use them, okay? Because they are disrespectful, okay? The words like, please people don't get out of the main point, okay? Okay, excuse me just for 2 minutes. So did you get it? The point is, we have to use the logical thinking. We have to think. Obviously, if someone get a surprising news to you, okay, you have to be understandable. You won't ask her. You won't get you angry upon the messenger. You know, okay. She has nothing to do. She didn't decide the date of the midterm exam. Okay, the tip is, just 1 minute, I need to scroll down the page. If you aren't familiar with the idiomatic expression, carefully consider the scenario or the situation. For example, like, would either be A or B, tells the man. Not very likely, okay? It will be A or B. It won't be. Of course, it's not logic. You can therefore safely eliminate those two choices. Choice C is also he believes the woman is lying. It can be, okay? It can be right answer. Since there is nothing in the conversation that suggests that he thinks the woman is lying, okay? So you have to follow the logical thinking. Don't make your own assumptions. As for recommendations, suggested actions, is it related to the sound tone? Yes, of course. This we are going to talk about the tone later. Of course, it has to do with the tone itself. If he shouted like he's angry, if there's a violation or something, you will understand that the speaker is angry, okay? But if he's just frustrated and disappointed, you will understand that he's surprised, or you know, or maybe they are kidding. According to the tone, of course, the tone plays a very important role in this conversation, or in the conversation generally, okay? Like if you say, that's really, so first one, nice dress. Like, I'm mocking the girl. I'm mocking her dress. I'm saying like making fun of her, okay? But if I said, oh, what a nice dress, so now I'm admiring her dress. So it's, of course, the tone plays a very big role, or it's very important usually in conversation. Okay, so in such questions, ask you to identify what one speaker comments or suggests to the other speaker. Here is an example. Like the man, he said, I haven't started my essay for the American lecture because I have been so busy studying for physics. Just 1 minute, I think I need to do something, because okay, it's not working. Okay, maybe I got to do something else. Just 1 minute, I need to, don't read, okay? Don't read. Don't want you to read anything. Just want to hide it. Sorry for this. So sorry. Okay. Now, listen. The man said, Just 1 minute. Okay. I haven't started my essay for the American literature because I have been so busy studying for the physics and the calculus exam, and the essay is due tomorrow. The woman said, "Why didn't you ask if you can hand in the essay a few days later?" So, the question is, what does the woman suggest the man that the man do? Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Who's angry? Okay, yeah, I got disconnected. Thank you. Now the answer is, did you hear the question? One more time. Again. Okay, only once. Let's say again. The man said, "I haven't started my essay for the American literature because I have been so busy studying for the physics and calculus exam, and the essay is due tomorrow. Why don't you ask if you can hand in the essay a few days late?" The question is, what does the woman suggest that the man do? To hand his essay in late, or to talk to the professor about handing the essay in late, or not write the essay at all, or ask someone else to write the essay? A, B, B, D, A, B. Okay. Okay, look at what the woman said. She said, "Why don't you ask?" Ask means he's going to ask for permission, or to take another appointment, another date. So the right answer would be number B, to talk to the professor about handing the essay in late. Okay? Did you get it? You understand? So you have to be careful. You have to listen carefully. Okay. Recommendations are often signaled by the phrases "you should" or "you ought to," "why don't you," or "why not." So listen carefully for these verbal clues. When you hear such clues, you will understand that the speaker will give a recommendation or will suggest something. Okay? Another kind of question is the inference. Okay, let me do something quickly. Don't read. I should do this before. Okay, I need. I'm sorry, I can't hide it. Anyway, is there any tool to hide these stuff? Okay, anyway, whatever. So as for the reference based upon time, you can move the page up. But I want you to actually to have the the head of the how to answer the question. Okay. These questions ask you to draw a logical conclusion, inference based upon tone. You are going to make the conclusion based upon the tone of the speakers has used. Here is an example. Now listen carefully. Henry promised he would be on time today. I bet he I'm sorry, okay, let's say it again. Henry promised he'd be on time today. I bet he will be here any second. Sure, any second. Okay, the question is, what does the man reply suggest? Henry believes Henry will be on time. He has to leave in a second. He doesn't want to see Henry. A, B, C, B. He believes that Henry will be here in any time. Okay, let me give you another example. If you made very bad, like you had a really like bad situation with your friend, okay, with your closest friend, and you like with a in a silly gesture, you said like, "You're not angry, right?" Your friend answered like, "Sure, yeah, yep." Okay, so here the tone is clearly it's clear. I mean, it's clear from the conversation that your friend he or she is very angry with you, but still she said like, yep, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Okay, so the point is we have to be careful and listen actively to the tone. And here there is a sense of disbelieving or a doubt. What does the man's reply suggest? He believes Henry will be on time. There is no doubt in this sentence. He has to leave in a second. There is nothing in this conversation that suggests that he's leaving soon. He doesn't want to see Henry. Also, this is far away from the point. It's out of the point totally. So the correct answer is he believes Henry will be late. Okay, so did you get it? Okay, so a word like sure can be half a dozen different things depending upon the tone of the speaker or the speaker uses, how the speaker say it. And the tone actually is a mood or the attitude that the speaker conveys about his or her subject. I'm telling people about my mood or my attitude. If I'm angry, like if you said like, how are you today? Say, fine, I'm fine, thank you. Or said, oh, I don't want to talk to you again. Fine. Okay, so fine here, the first one is very polite and it's very sincere. It means that the person cares and so on. But the second one is totally different. It reflects the attitude of the ultimate anger, you know. Any second? In any time, Miss Wissam. This person, he's leaving in any time, in any minute, or leaving soon. Okay, so do you understand the importance of the tone? It's very important. So be careful. In fact, in speech, more meaning is conveyed by tone than by the actual words used. A word like sure is a perfect example. Think of all the way the word can be said and all the different meanings and variety of tone can convey during the speaker says what he or she says. Okay, the point is how the speaker says or conveys her message or his message. So what mood or attitude seems to come across? Joy, anger, sadness, excitement, disbelief? Is the speaker making a threat or demand or a plea? Okay, either someone or something. Okay, as for the inference, okay, I'm not going to scroll this down. Sorry for moving the inference based upon details of the situation. Okay, play means a polite question or request. Okay, to ask for something, to request. These questions ask you to draw a logical conclusion based upon a specific information. They ask you what the speaker implies or suggests, what the problem a speaker is facing, or what the assumption a speaker is making. No, it's like play, like C. Okay, like your mouth A, you say A, but you don't make this sound. Okay, like play, in the between. Okay, so about inference, we have to agree that inference means to draw a conclusion, to make a conclusion. And by the way, if you want to know the exact pronunciation of any word, I'm not an American native speaker. Maybe I have like slight difference between the I make mistakes. Okay, so if you want to know the exact American accent or the American pronunciation of any word, you just Google it. Okay, like pronounce the word play, okay, or play, or disbelief, or excitement, and inshallah you're going to find it audible. Just play it. Okay. So in this question, you're going to make a conclusion according to what? According to the speakers, what the speaker implies. In suggest the problem they are talking about, or the assumption or the solution of the problem, of the speaker's problem. Okay, so an example here. Listen carefully, please. Okay, the first speaker said, so how do you do in the physics midterm? Let's just say that I won't be making the dean's list this semester. What does the woman mean? I mean the second speaker. That she got a highest score in the class, or she will be too busy to be on the dean's list, or she didn't take the exam after all. She thinks she did very poorly in the exam. One more time, please. Okay. Okay, some people got it, and this is very nice sign. Okay, let's say it again. So, how do you do in the physics exam at midterm? Let's just say that I won't be making the dean's list this semester. So the answer will be, What does a woman means? She got the highest score in the class. She will be too busy to be on the dean's list. She didn't take the exam after all. On the exam. See, she didn't take the exam at all, Mr. Bakr? I don't think so. Okay, it's actually it's D. Okay, let's go down here. The right answer is D. She thinks she did very poorly on the exam. Here you need to draw a conclusion. You have to think about the conclusion itself. It's not clear in the text. Based upon the specific fact or details in the passage, what inference can you make based upon the situation or scenario? Okay? The man is asking, so how would you do in the physics exam? Let's just say that I won't be making the dean's list, getting any in rank this semester, so she didn't do well in the exam. She didn't answer it, or she didn't do well in the exam. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. So here the tip is, again you need to draw a logical conclusion here based upon the specific fact or detail in this passage, like in this short conversation. Think about the situation or the scenario and this okay, we didn't start this. Okay, anyway, so inference about the future, or to make a prediction, to make your prediction, to predict something. I don't want you to see this, I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, just don't read it, be honest. These questions ask you to draw a logical conclusion about what the speakers will do based upon the conversation. Here's an example. Oh no, look what time is it? If I leave now, I'll still be late for class. It's about 15 minutes, 15-minute walk. You'll just make it if you take my car. Drive it to class, or run as fast as he can to class, or skip class and stay with the woman, or call a taxi. Did you read it, Mr. Ala and Mr. Islam? But nothing. Okay, I'm going to repeat it again. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Oh no, look what time is it? If I leave now, I'll still be late for class. It's a 15-minute walk. You'll just make it if you take my car. The question is, what will a man probably do? Will he borrow a woman's car to drive to class, or run as fast as he can to class, or skip the class and stay with the woman, or call a taxi? Borrow the woman's car and drive it to class. This is the logical. Who said C? Miss Sarah? Do you think C is the right answer? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not logical. He has a class to attend. He's not playing. Oh. The answer would be number A, to borrow the woman's car and drive it to class. It's not funny, it's silly, I guess. I mean, like, you have to eliminate it right away. Yes. About something will happen in the future. To talk about future. That something as well, he will 10 minutes. Just offering it doesn't mean she will lend him. No. She's offer. An offer, that means she's not saying this for fun. She's not having a talk, you know. They are not having, say that they are not having the casual talk, you know, like, oh no, something, he remembers something. Maybe she's his wife, whatever, okay? So when he remembered something, so she suggested that maybe if he took the car, he will get at the class at the time. So there's no time to call for taxi, and there's no time to walk or to run. So she's offering her car. And this is the only possible answer. Okay. As for the tip, again, you need to draw a logical conclusion here based upon the specific facts and details in the passage. Think about the situation or the scenario the second speaker response. Really, she is making a suggestion to borrow her car. She's offering her car. Though she doesn't explicitly state the offer, she didn't say, here, take my car. She didn't say it clearly, but that, her sentence means that. Okay? See which answer best matches the second speaker's reply. Number A, Miss Nihal, would be borrow the woman's car and drive it to class. Questions you may find in your test, in the computer taking task. All the questions on the paper-based exam are multiple choices questions which just correct answers. Most of the questions on the computer-based test are also multiple choice, but the computer-based exam also include the following additional types of questions, like the questions that have more than one answer. You may find a question with more than one answer. A few questions may have more than one possible correct answer. You will be asked to select the options that correctly answer the questions. For example, according to the professor, Frankenstein deals with which aspect of science and technology? Click on two answers. So would you please answer this? Fictional impact or social impact or historical impact or moral impact? A and D, fictional and moral. I'm not here from the beginning. I didn't know anything about the phrase. Oh, okay. Shall we read it again? Shall I read it again quickly? Okay. How many of you want me to read this short lecture again? Write one. Write one on the chat. Write one, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay, I'm reading it again. But you are not going to read with me. You're going to listen. Okay? So, are we ready? Okay, let's start. This is a short lecture, so listen carefully. The professor says, next week we'll begin our discussion of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Frankenstein is actually considered to be the most literary critics to be the first science fiction novel. Understanding what makes this novel a work of science fiction can help you understand why it isn't just about space exploration, clones and robots. Science fiction is any fiction about the realm of possibilities, not just possible futures but also possible pasts. For example, here's a subgenre of science fiction called alternate histories. In these stories, author explores what our world would be like if history had turned out differently. If the Axis power had won the Second World War, for example. In Frankenstein, Shelley explores the social and the moral repercussion of if it were possible to bring a dead back to life. She creates a character who discovers a secret of life and gives birth to a man made from a corpse of a dead man. Then she imagines what might happen afterward. You may be surprised by how little science there is in the science fiction novel, but like the best of science fiction writers, Shelley focuses on the human element of exploring what certain science and technological advances would mean for our society. In Frankenstein, the message is clear. Dr. Frankenstein is playing... Okay, I deleted this part. Okay. And Dr. Frankenstein's delight turns to horror the moment he brings his creature to life because he's unable to accept responsibility for his creation. If we seek glory without considering our responsibilities, Shelley argues we are... Okay? That was the lecture. And this is a question, and you give me the answer. A and D. A and C. Think me like it's about history. Is it about fiction or society, moral? A and D. B and D. Okay, let me tell you the answer of this question. Okay, A and D. Moral means, moral has to do with your behavior, with your attitude, being a good person. Or ethical. Okay, so the correct answer is B and D. And the social impact and the moral impact. This is the correct answer. Okay? Thank you for those who got it. Okay. Number B and D, the social impact and the moral impact. The answer will be B and D. the social, because he said so. The professor said so in the lecture. I'm not asking about your point of view. I'm asking about the point of view of the professor. It's not tricky. Okay. You're welcome. Moral means it has to do with your attitude, with your behavior. Okay, to be to ethical, like someone who's a good person. Okay, you will be asked to another question with visuals. Actually, you will be asked to select an image, drawing, picture, or chart. For example, that corresponds to or present information for passage. Here is an example. Choose a drawing that best represents how Dr. Frankenstein felt when his creation came to life. I mean, like first came to life. And you are going to click on the drawing. Of course, you are going to choose a picture which shows, like, can you remember what did the Dr. Frankenstein feel when he saw his creation came to life? Do you remember what was his reaction? Can you write me one word? Delighted or happy, joyful? He was happy. Excellent. Very good. No, of course not. He wasn't happy. I didn't mention any happiness in the lecture. What are you talking about? I didn't see the movie, actually. I'm talking about the lecture that I just read. Frightened, horror, yeah, exactly. Those two words, what I was looking for. You know, he was very scared of his. He didn't take the responsibility. He didn't accept it. He just ran away. Okay, so you're getting who shows like that reaction of being frightened or horror. Get horrified. Like he would choose a picture that shows Frankenstein looking horrified or afraid. A sequencing question. This is another type of question. These questions ask you to place information or events in the proper sequence. They are going to ask you to put events in order. The professor describes the 4 stages of grief. Summarize the grieving process by placing the stage in the proper order. Then click on the space below where it belongs. Use each word only once. Depression, acceptance, denial, or anger. Can you put these 4 steps in order? Can you put this in a sequence? Okay, again. You mentioned 4 degrees. 4 degrees. Okay. He mentioned 4 degrees of grief. So I want you to put these 4 stages in order. No. Repentant, no. one. So sorry for this. I got disconnected and my page got crashed and the computer got hanged and everything went wrong. So sorry for this. So the good answer. Well, Miss Sarah made it perfectly. Like anger, denial, anger, depression, and then acceptance. First, he denied the responsibility, he denied everything. Okay? Then he got angry, then he got depressed, and then he accepted the situation. Okay. As for classification or making questions, okay. Before I leave, it was just only Miss Sarah who when I came back I didn't check the chat, so this is the correct answer. Number 1 is denial, then anger, then depression, then acceptance. As for another kind of questions, you may find like classification or matching questions. Like these questions ask you to match information by placing facts or sentences into appropriate categories. Like the professor describes Freud's theory of the personality, match the element of the professor, the personality with the definition. Like click on the sentence, then click on the space where it belongs. The part of personality is that the conscious awareness of the self and is driven by the reality principle. The part of personality that is beneath our conscious awareness and it's driven by the pleasure principle. But I guess real life depression comes before anger. Well, if we consider it, I think anger comes before depression, before, like, because anger comes irrational. You don't think like, I will be angry now. No, you don't think like that. You just react. So the anger comes like, it blasts, like it's explode. Okay, so you explode first. And then when you find it useless, then you get depressed. And then after you get depressed, you will accept the reality or what's in the real life. Do you agree, Mr. Bakr? I'm sorry. If you think so, I don't know what to say really. So anyways, there is an ID and an ego and a super ego. So you are going to classify every you are going to have like such this classification, and of course you are going to listen to a short comprehension, and then you are going to choose the correct definition of each part which was mentioned in the lecture previously. So ID, the part of the personality that is beneath our conscious awareness and it's driven by the pleasure principle. The part of personality is for the ego and super ego and so on. Okay. The coming part is very important. It has to do with the listening strategies. I'm not going to, I just listed these strategies because you need to study it later. So we are not going to have like I don't make a separate lecture for it. So the first strategy is hearing versus listening. There's a difference between hearing to someone or listening to someone or something. Hearing to perceiving sound with your ear. To let your ear receive sounds from all around, okay? But listening, the process of receiving and constructing meaning from the auditory message. Do you understand the difference between both of them? Here, things without really listening to them. But listening, processing, to think about the message, to store it or to save it in your memory as well. Okay, so because that's why we don't hear Quran, we listen to Quran. Okay, we listen carefully. As for active listening strategies, when you listen to someone in person, when you are talking to someone face to face, there are many things you can do. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot the pointer, so here we go again. There are many things you can do to be more active listener. You can make sure you give the speaker more undivided attention, looking only at the speakers instead of gazing around the room. Okay, don't look to the ceilings, don't look at your shoes, and so on. So you give attention to the speaker. You can use non-verbal feedback. You can nod your head such as leaning towards the speaker. You can focus on the speaker's message rather than other elements that may be distracting, such as the speaker's appearance. Okay, don't bother yourself with the speaker appearance. This is a general advice. Okay, and you can interject questions and affirmations such as I see, or yes, really, to acknowledge and help clarify the speaker's message. But in the Toefl exam, you can concentrate on the speaker by listening. That means while you can't look at the speaker in the eye, of course you won't see your speaker. Okay, it's a recorded lecture or a recorded conversation, what he or she is saying. Keep your concentration on the conversation or lecture. Don't allow yourself to daydream. Don't think about or don't think about anything else. Just think about listening to this record or drift into other thoughts. Don't let your thought stream go in other ways, such as what you need to get done later in the day. Maybe you have some homework to do, or maybe you got to visit someone or to see someone. Don't think about this stuff at the very moment you are listening to or you're having your exam. Avoid watching the clock or fiddling with objects. Don't play with any objects around. Don't look at the clock like it nervously in a very continuous way. I mean, like continuously. Another strategy is use non-verbal feedback. This will help you to focus, even if you can't see the speaker. You know, even though the speaker can't hear you, sometimes the speaker can't hear you. Okay, of course, in the exam, the speaker won't hear you or see you. You can still nod your head and lean forward or towards the speaker. These two physical actions may seem too minor to make a difference, especially if the speaker can't see you, but they help to engage your body and mind in the act of listening, and that helps you to maintain your focus on the conversation. Do you understand this part? Hello? Okay. The third strategy is to focus on the message, not the person delivering the message. You won't see the speakers face to face, but if you are taking a computer-based exam, you will see pictures of people on the computer screen at the beginning of each listening passage. These images are designed to help orient you to the conversation by giving you a sense of who is talking, conversation or place. Do you know what this means to orient? Do you know what does it mean? Please, if you don't understand, just let me know. Okay, that means when you see a picture, you will understand, are they sitting in a cafe or in a school on or in lecture in the class, in a police station, in a fire station, or maybe in the garden. Okay, so it gives you an image about where the conversation were carried out and who interacted. Okay, and who this conversation is between, for example, if it's between a teacher or it will be different from being a friendly conversation between two friends. Maybe it's different from another conversation held between the office director and a client, or accountant, for example, or any other, you know what I mean. You don't have to imagine, it just gives you a clue. So the point is, don't focus on the picture, because you will not get any information from it. I mean, like, don't give it much focus, you know. Just focus on listening. For example, at the beginning of lecture you might see a picture of a professor in a classroom, okay, but this picture can be distracting. This is the point. This is what you should be careful of. These pictures can be distracting. Remember to focus on listening, not looking. Concentrate on the conversation, not on the picture. Is it clear? If you are taking the paper-based exam, find something in the room upon which to concentrate during the reading of each passage. Preferably some board rather than a person in the room. Don't look at person. Don't look at moving, you know, objects. Just try to look at still object or something which is plain. Okay, if you focus on a person, you may find yourself thinking about the person's appearance instead of listening to the conversation's tape. If you find yourself too distracted, simply close your eyes during reading of each passage. And this is what I actually prefer. I close my eyes and I just focus on listening. Okay? The fourth strategy is to visualizing. To visualize, okay? Active listening means listening not just with your ears, but also with our other senses. You can use your mind's eyes to help you concentrate on the passage and better understanding, and to remember what you hear. When a speaker describes something or someone, print a mental picture for what you hear. Make a picture in your mind for what you hear. Like if someone is talking to their friends and do you know, let me give you an example. Like, I bought a new car yesterday, it's red, it's big, it's whatever, you know. Try to put a picture in your head for this car. Just, or maybe if there's some conversation between two friends or something, let's say like Tom and Jane or whatever, try to picture Tom and Jane in your mind. Okay, to make a picture in your mind. This will be helpful actually, because sometimes minor details, when you add these details like cars, then you are going to picture car. The car is red, so you are going to add the red color to the image, you know. So sometimes when you get a question, you will find these details already printed in your mind, so you won't suffer like remember or recalling back any such of such details. For example, if the professor describes Frankenstein's horror when he first brings his creature to life, reaction, you know, like when you picture this reaction, you will never forget it. Even after the exam, you know. What does his face look like and how does he act? And forget all about movies or such things, because it's not reliable. I mean, like it's kind of commercial thing, so they rephrase it. Special tips of the computer-based exam. The computer-based exam has some features that you won't find in the paper-based test. It's important to prepare with the right test taking strategies. Here a few specific tips for taking the computer exam. You have to adjust the volume. This is number one, to adjust the volume on your headset before you begin the listening section. If you can't hear the passage well, you won't be able to perform your best on the exam. You control the volume for your own headset, so make sure it's set at the right level for you before the test begins. You won't be allowed to adjust it once the test starts. Okay? So you have to adjust the volume before the exam. You start your exam. Don't be distracted by picture of people. Again, at the beginning of the most passage of most passages, the computer will display an image of the people in the conversation. If you find yourself too distracted by these pictures, take a brief look to the picture, then close your eyes so you can't concentrate on the tape or the record. Are for orientation only. They don't reinforce or represent any of the content in the message. They are a sample. They are not real. They have nothing to do with the passage itself. Okay? So don't focus on them. Do pay close attention to other visuals. As you listen to longer talks and conversation, you may see images such as maps, tables, charts, graphs, drawings, or objects. These are visual you should focus on while you. They typically represent, for example, a graph representing the three personality according to Sigmund Freud. Just, do you know, picturing, you know, like the snapshot? Do you know the snapshot? Have you ever heard this word before? No? Okay. Of course no, or of course yes? Okay. MashaAllah, okay, that's nice, okay. Okay, let me tell you. The snapshot is when you are playing a movie and you take even one's first one can second. Some people don't know or are not familiar with Windows Vista, whatever. Back to our lecture. Capture images. Yes, this is the point. When you are playing video and you take, you know, like you take a picture suddenly. Okay, you picture a second, you know, like it takes only part of a second to take this picture. Okay. So the point. Just 121. Please what? Okay, so the point is you have to use this technique while listening. Can you allow your brain to take a snapshot for the screen? Okay, just have one look. Take it, store it, or save it in your mind. Like save this picture or chart in your mind. Okay, in order, this will help you to recall this information later on. But don't, you know, like stop everything. Don't stop listening to the tape or to the record, and just, you know, like gaze or focus on the picture itself. It's not useful. It's not gonna work in this way. Okay. This image will help you better understand. I want this, you read? Oh, you mean the materials? I'm going to upload it on the group's wall, because actually I make it for you to study. I mean, like to study from it. So I'm going to upload it, and you can print it, you can download it and print it out and study from it and keep it as a material for you. Okay? So don't worry about it. The point is, this image will help you better understand what the lecture is describing or is about. Well, Ms. Shireen, I think the recording team has a shortage, so maybe our sessions are not recorded. So I don't think we're going to find it on the YouTube soon. But we can ask. We will ask in the academy. So don't worry about it. Inshallah, they will solve it. But here, back to our lecture. The fourth strategy is to read the question on the computer screen as they are being read to you on the tape. Mr. Bakar, I enjoy to come to you soon. You just say, I can record the lectures, the coming lectures, and inshallah they will offer you this job. And of course we are volunteers. Session recorded. I don't know. I'm not sure about the last session. Okay. Really? Well, I didn't see the last section actually, or the last lecture. So last uploaded one. Well, that's great news, Mr. Mahmoud. I didn't know that. Okay. Shall we go back to our lectures? To our lecture actually? Okay, would you please, Mr. Mahmoud, would you please post the link on the document? Okay. This is the link. Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the 8th one. Yeah. جزاكم الله خيرا. Okay, so back to our lecture. You may read the question on the computer screen. This will help you to understand the question correctly in the correct way. And the last strategy is to keep track of the time, because you control the pace of the listening test. It's especially important to keep your eye on the time. Be sure that you watch the clock on the computer screen and pace time yourself accordingly. Make sure to allow yourself enough time to hear every passage and answer every question. Okay, so you have to adjust your time with questions. Don't take a lot of time thinking about the question. Listening to lectures and longer conversation. Listening to lectures and longer conversation. Everyday conversation and class discussion usually have a main point, but if it often takes time to get to that main idea, and the conversation may cover many different topics and subtopics along the way. A lecture, on the other hand, is usually much more organized than a normal conversation because it's planned for the lectures. So you are going to find it in points, or in a sequence, or in a logical order. So it will be easier for you to recall the information or details or aspects or whatever from this lecture later on, of course, to answer any question. And that's good news. While lectures just 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Okay. And that's good news. While lectures may be long and therefore requires extra concentration, they offer many organizational clues that can help you better comprehend what you hear. So, the main point as a secondary point clues, there are many main points and secondary point clues. Okay? Let's find out. Most lectures are organized around a few main points. These main points are typically followed by secondary or supporting points. These points develop the main idea with more detailed explanations and specific examples. Is it clear? Is it part clear? Do you understand this part? There is a main idea, and this main idea has sub-ideas or supporting ideas. These ideas, these supporting ideas develop in order to prove or they serve the main idea. Okay? A speaker will often announce his or her main point at the beginning of a lecture, as in the following example. Freud divided the personality into 3 distinct levels or forces: the ID, the ego, and the superego. This key sentence tells us the main idea and the other sentence whole lecture. So if you miss this sentence, you'll spend a lot of time just thinking about or figuring out what's this lecture about. So you have to focus. In the very beginning, usually professors or teachers give the objectives of their lecture. Okay? The professor will discuss each of these 3 levels in turn. To help look first, he's going to talk about the ID, then the ego, and the superego. To help you distinguish between many main idea and their support, listen for clues. Speakers often use the following phrases to introduce specific examples, and of course, usually examples are main idea or supporting idea. Examples will be main idea or supporting idea. Who can tell me? Excellent, very good. Like, for example, others, furthermore, in part, in addition, for instance, especially, some, and so on. This can also be helpful. Like, sometimes another strategy speakers use is lists. As you listen, be on the lookout of verbal clues like the following. There are 4 main events. Here, the speaker is going to state 4 main events. So you may like 1, 2, 3, 4. The first, for example, is going to talk about the social impact, or the logical, the moral, or whatever. Okay. Okay, I'm going to extend it just for 10 minutes. Okay. So this will help you to make your own list as well. Okay. They're going to list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The introduction to the lecture about Freud theory of the personality is another good example. The speaker lists the 3 levels of the personality that she or he will discuss in the lecture. Keywords and concepts. Speakers also organize their the thoughts by keywords and concepts are easy to publicly offered with this observation. Right. Is a good example. The professor lists the threes. We will ask about it later on, so that exactly can you find this piece of information? This is the article. Okay. This is the last of our session today. The best test prep strategy. Listen. This is my advice to you. You have to listen a lot, because when you listen you're going to get like with the ET. Okay. The indeed way of this is to put yourself in a situation where English, and the more you listen to spoken English, the more you will understand. Go to movies and see English. Go to like pause here and to speak to you only in English, if you have, of course. The more you practice, the more you will understand. Listen to the audiobooks in English. They are ideal for when you are traveling or exercising, or whenever you are have a few extra moments. Like if you are driving your car, whatever, you may just play the tape or the CD, whatever. It would be very nice. So practice. books. These books will help you a lot, and you just can, you know, like you can what do you say, like to transfer this data to your mobile phone or your iPhone or iPod or whatever, and listen to it whenever you are in the transportation. Of course, in Egypt we spend a lot of time in transportation, so you may just listen to it. This will help you. This will help you to get the tone, new vocabulary, and to get acquainted with the English tone and the accent, of course. The next lecture will be next Tuesday, inshallah, at 8 p.m. Yeah, it will be very helpful, Mr. Mahmoud. Yeah, I guess so. There's something else that I wanted to say, but subhanAllah, I forget. So yeah, make sure that, well, any kind of books you can listen to short stories. I just want to get you acquainted with the English accent. Okay, this is the point of listening. But as for practicing for your test, you have to sit at your desk and listen for at least 15 minutes with a notebook in your hand, and try to get information out of this text or passage that you are listening for. So do you understand what are you going to do? How can you practice for this part? Do you understand the tips or the details? Okay. Did Mr. I didn't see him today. I didn't see any of his. He didn't pass the idea to keep my English level at all. Well, practice is the magical word. You have to practice a lot. If you stop practicing, you're not going to gain it, because we are not native speakers. So you have to practice, to listen a lot, to read. Listening and reading. Okay? That's in general, but as for the Toefl exam, you have of course to follow the steps that we explained before in earlier or in the lecture. So inshallah next time read in a loud voice. You person, I mean, like, you like to listen, you got to read in a loud voice. This will help you a lot. But actually, and you have to try to copy, and I repeat, to copy the accent that you listen. Like, for example, if you have like a movie on your computer, your favorite movie or something, try, of course, cartoon. You may try to listen to it. Have you ever tried to listen to a movie? This would be very helpful, especially if you liked some phrases in it. Just pause and repeat it again, and replay it, and pause and repeat it again. Copy. Can you copy what you hear? Yeah, Mr. Bakar, you need to practice. Everyone needs to practice. Okay? So, and of course, don't forget that, I mean, like, make yourself a cause while you are studying. You want your English to be good, and so, because this help you, and of course you will get hasanat if you are getting to get a good niyya for it. So this will be very helpful for you, and it won't be about, you know, like the trivial life here or here life. So you got to be to seek the higher level. So, Jazakumullah khairan for your attendance and for listening. And and thanks for your time. Sorry for taking so much a lot of time in the lecture today. Do you have further questions? Any questions? جزاكم الله خير. جزانا وإياكم. جزاكم الله خير. Okay. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Mr. Mahmoud, I don't have a book. I'm going to give you the material. These materials you are going to find it on the document on the Facebook. I'm going. Okay, let me check whether. Just 1 minute. I will try to get you the link, the direct link. Okay. Okay, here's the link. Inshallah, you are going to find all the documents and the PDF files on this link. Hope inshallah this will be helpful for you and useful. Okay. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.